Namaste and warm greetings to
Namaste.
everyone. This is Priyam and welcome to the Art Talk on the master artist Sukhvir Sanghal. Sukhvir Sanghal ji was known for his wash paintings. His unique ideas and themes have left a forever impression in our hearts. Today we will discuss about his painting techniques, his teaching ways and some interesting facts about him. In 1938, he had established an exclusive school of fine arts at Allahabad called Kala Bharti. And it is a privilege for me to have a very senior and a respected person with me today, Justice Sudhir Narain Agarwal ji. He learned art and painting from him at his Kala Bharti Institute for 7 long years. And he served as a judge at Allahabad High Court. Very warm welcome to you, Sudhir sir. We want to know more about you and how did you happen to meet Sanghalji?
My one of the classmates was a student of in this Kala Bharti run by Professor Sukhvir Sanghal. I was interested in art from my child. I accompanied him and told my guru, Professor Sanghal, to admit me. He was very happy and admitted me as a student. I was then hardly 9 or 10 years, and then continued in his institution for about 7 years. My classmate also continued with me. His name was Sumant Kumar. Later on, he was so much interested that he took a training in the art from the school. And then he became an art teacher in intermediate college in Muzaffarnagar. So, but I was joined law as my family was coming from the lawyer's family. My father wanted that I should be a lawyer. So though I was very much interested in paintings and was doing very well, I am very confident about it. And many students came to me to learn art from me. So you are a better student than myself. But the luck as it would have been, I joined law and then left it, doing the painting for. Because Dr. Jagdish, who was at one time Solicitor General of India, I went to his chamber and told me that I want to be junior of you. But I showed that I am very good artist also. I showed him my paintings. Oh, then you have to choose one. Either stop painting or you join the law. Both can't run together. Profession doesn't any time. You have to 24 hours time to profession, devoted one. So there was no choice except either to go for painting or to join law. I joined law because my grandfather was a lawyer, and the entire family was either judge, judicial service. So, but I continued, and it did not make much difference so far the education was concerned, because he taught in his class, 2 classes in the evening. In the whole the day, he used to make himself paintings, never compromised for this. In the evening, he was a free, and it was a relaxation for me also, doing the work the whole of the day. This is a wonderful work and wonderful teacher, most devoted. That is how I came to him.
Thank you, sir, for telling all those stories. We want to know more about your experience with him as a guru, like the painting technique that he followed and his teaching way, like how many years you learned from him and how many paintings did you make under his mentorship?
I made about 15 paintings under him. First year, almost pencil work, different figures, anatomy. Sometimes he will put some objects like flower or some other pot. So one has to devote much time on it. Then the color started after 6 months. I was very happy now. Today I am entitled to this coloring work. And used to sit by the side, used to teach which color. Color is not a difficult thing, but the mixture of the color is a very important thing. Whatever the color is concerned, even in his paintings, one can't say this is the color, because it is how he mixes the color. That is the artist's vision, how he puts the mixture of the color. And that is the experience, and teaching both go together. One can't be an artist. Today what they give, you go to the market, bring a box of colors, 36 colors, 40 colors, so many colors. But that is nowhere unless one knows the art, which color is to be mixed at which place. The sky, the man, the figures, and where it is the brightening part. So that is the experience. And unless that experience is there, he cannot be a great artist.
Yes.
So this is the one part with regard to the colors, then mixtures, then the subject, and how they use the figures, because his figures were very clear. And even if a single mistake is there, it is apparent. Hand, feet, they are the most difficult. If there is a slightest mistake, one can know it. So the master of the figure, master of the how to imagine it and put it in a first in pencil, then the coloring. If first use the pencil, make the figure, and then coloring. Today is not just like a modern art. Take the brush and go on putting the figures and make the painting. It is the style was different. What was the difficulty was that it took much of the time. It is not a normal time. If it is wash painting, even if he was making his paintings, I think it must have taken not less than 6 months. Today, I ask the people who say that I do it within 1 or 2 days. It is just astonishing. Second technique was wash. What is the wash? Put the water, put the paintings, and in that the paintings are placed. The hard color which was there, they are all erased. Then again the second or third time. So that second and third time, again that used to take much of the time. So at least every student, I think, has taken at least 6 months in making one painting. Today, that is why one of the reasons nobody is prepared to this wash painting system, Bengali school of first figure must be very clear. Coloring must be there. It must, how it is the mixing of the colors, then washing it. Then again after washing it is done. So all this process takes much of the time. Today, nobody has a patience. And secondly, in the market value, they don't get that their remuneration or whatever the price, what they have put in the labor. While on the other end, modern art, so-called, they prepare it 1 day, 2 days, maximum 3 days. Every painting, 3 days sufficient. So what a difference of 3 days. And that is the difference between the 6 months. So the great artist devoted whole of life, made paintings. It's a wonderful. I think in the world, it is a difficult to find such a paintings because most of the paintings, Western art is concerned, they have oil colors, very easy to, there is no system. Of course, there is a mixture system is there. But in wash paintings, the mixing of the color is not very soft. One has to find it out. It is a difficult how it has been mixing of the colors is there. So that is the vast difference between the modern art and the wash painting system of Bengal School of Arts.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the old system, and now that is a fading.
Thank you, sir, for telling us in detail about the wash thing that is coming from the Bengal School of Art, and it takes a lot of patience, whereas now the today's generation doesn't have that much of patience to take it. So thank you for telling us about the wash technique. So is there any difference in the wash technique that Sanghalji used to follow? And there were some other artists also doing this technique. So what was unique about his technique, and what was special about
wash painting system, I think, it started from China and Japan. Bengal School of Arts, they started. The figures were concerned, they were taken from Ajanta. Nandal Bose and his guru Avinath Tagore. Avinath Tagore stayed in Ajanta for about 1 year. His figures of Ajanta were taken by him. And that were the figures that he followed were basic of Ajanta. Technique of coloring, I think, was from China, and that was also prevalent in Japan. So this Bengal School of Art developed a system getting the figures and coloring system. Professor Singhal learned the art from Art College of Lucknow. Asit Kumar Haldar was the principal. He was also one of the students in Shantiniketan and then in College of Arts, Calcutta. I think they were following the technique of coloring from Japan and China. But so for Professor Singhal, I think, took much time in wash paintings by putting 2 or 3 times in water the painting, entire painting in the water. That diminished the color. And then second time, third time. And that, I think, changed a little technique system. Those who have Nandlal Bose, Mazumdar, and other artists, Mazumdar was also a principal of Allahabad University Art Department, head of Art Department. but I never saw him putting the painting in water. So it was quite easy, less time, whatever the color he puts it, it was a little more bright than Professor Singh. That made his painting a distinguished. One can put the most easy of Mazumdar's painting and Professor Singh. Is a more bright Mazumdar because he never put the paintings in water and also took less time. So that was, I think, the main difference.
Yeah, and also the China and Japan technique that was coming, the wash technique came from there, and he further gave it an Indian look based on the rust theories, the Indian rust siddhant. So that was also a thing that he added to it. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing so much information. We know that you've learned a lot from him, and at his Kala Bharti Institute, we want to know more about that place, how everything was like over there, and his devotion towards art. It attracted many great personalities also, like politicians and like even the British officials. So at that time, even our two prime ministers, Vishwanath Pratap Singh ji and Srimati Indira Gandhi, they were also learning art from him. So can you tell us a bit like how it looked like what was the ambience like?
No, I didn't, at my time, it may be earlier to me. Indira Gandhi was not a student at my time. I don't know about. But so far, Vishwanath Pratap Singh was concerned, he continued for about 2 years. But of course, he used to come once or twice in a month. He was aged about 80 years and was 8 years. So was difference between me and him. He had some of his friends, 3 or 4. They also were students and they were friends also. I never thought that he will enter into the politics. He will be a prime minister one day. So once he was a chief minister, then I asked, he is the same fellow who was a student in art, and asked that question. Yes. So then I came to know that's in politics. But otherwise, I was a student, joined the university, and he joined the politics. So he was, and later on he continued to make paintings, but mostly it was modern art. And he gave the comment, a wash painting took much of the time. I had no much time and therefore adopted this system. He has published some of his painting and book also. He was one of the member of the committee of management of some great art institute located in Delhi. So that was my experience with him.
Okay, so do you want to share, talk about any favorite paintings from his collection that you like?
Of Professor Singhal.
Yes.
He was an artist as well as a philosopher. So every line, every color, every painting had some philosophy.
Yes.
He talked about, once you ask about the painting, then he will tell many things. He painted Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya painting. So it is what he said is a Purush Sukta. Purush Sukta in Vedas depict that head is a Brahmin, hands are Kshatriyas, stomach Banya, and legs Shudras. So they are one personality of the socialism is the one entity. He created Purusu. He was very fond of painting of Arjun. It is a valor. It's not looking like a Arjun as a hero. It's a valorism. So his idea was valorism. Once it is there, he leaves everything. We start talking about Arjun, he will praise him. So he's painting dawn and nightfall, very famous. It was sold also, very easy. It's a wonderful work was marriage procession. When I saw it, apparently I didn't find anything to, but he said, you didn't see it. And I saw what you saw. There is a dula, or it's a marriage party. No, you have nothing seen. I have made it as just like a diya. And he's in that idea, and that all are there in the procession. So this is just a lamp. And जो दिया जलती है तो उसकी तरह से बनाया. Then I realized it's right. And hundreds of figures, and each figure different expressions. Then Mughal Darbar, hundreds of figures. Every figure has a different expression. So even if one figure is difficult to make, there's hundreds of figures. Ram Darbar. So these are very hard labor work. I think not less than 6 months in one painting. How is going today and make such paintings? Nobody who is going, I think. It's a hard work painting so many things. Our expression, coloring, each of the painting is a meaning. So he never wanted to sell his paintings, the whole page. And Professor Mazumdar, paintings was sold for 50 rupees or 100 rupees. I wanted to purchase it, but that time I couldn't afford it. But even at that time, when he was selling for 50, 100 rupees, Professor Singhal, my master, never sold any painting for that, less than 3,000 even at that. So I think he sold 2 or 3 paintings at that time, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. And even up to the last, hardly sold some of the paintings. The last in the exhibition in Delhi, he sold some paintings more than for 1 lakh. So his confidence of the value of his paintings was so high. So it is a gem. This is not a gem, but gem can be purchased. But nobody can assess his value, assess his figures. One has to reach that height of his philosophy, thinking and art all together. That is the beauty of his paintings.
Yes, I agree with you. And I'm amazed to hear that you still remember so many of his paintings, the Arjun series, the Ram series, and his marriage series. And whatever you said is so true, that the composition of his paintings are, when you look at his paintings, you may not understand, but when you see, oh, this is like a diya, the composition that he made in that painting. And every face has a story to tell. Every face is expressive, and there are a lot of stories in that one painting. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. And
one thing is, He used to tell that I'm writing the book. He wrote about 2000, but I'm sorry that it is still unpublished. So difficulty is the publishers want to know whether it will be sold in the market easily or not. If it is not easily sellable, then his investment will be useless. So I think the publishers find it that is a philosophical book running so many pages. It has not been published, but it is a real thesis of art and philosophy of art and history of art, both together go together. It should be published. This is my thinking, my wish.
This is all our wish that he's written that book in 3 volumes, and it is about the evolution of art and artist. And with the help of that book, he has tried to prove the existence of God through the color theory. So by God's blessings, we should be able to do that. Is there any story you want to share in his memory, or like how he inspired you as a person?
The story is every act of his thoughts were inspiring. He used to sit for 3 hours in the evening and more as a philosopher, he used to express his views more on paintings, colors, etc. So he never told much because he never praised himself. Not only what people say, they praise himself and then he says that I came into contact him and did this, all that. He had once in Georgetown, where I live, nearby the school was, and one day alternatively in civil lines. Every evening he was busy, and the whole of the day he was busy in his paintings. So he's not very social, not going to many people to meet and everything, for many functions to join, many lectures to deliver. This aspect now, which has been developed, nothing. Silent worker, silent teacher, silent thoughts. That is all.
Yeah, that is true. He never made public appearances and never publicized his works much. Thank you, Sudhir sir. It was a privilege to hear all your stories and the experiences that you shared, and giving insights in details about his painting and the drawing techniques that you learned from him. And I really hope that this talk proves to be useful and informative for the viewers. And thank you again. And
thank you. Thank you that you are also devoting so much of time. I hope his ideas that he was talking to, you are developing it. I'm very happy that he should get the right place in the artist, which he has never got because he was not very social, not in the spirit that his name should be published. But that is why I say there is no better artist, no great artist than him. Because one has to look his work. And for looking the work, one has to, the eyes of that artist, not your eyes, the eyes of the artist in what thought, what color, and what work he was doing. So unless you place his thoughts, ideas, and work, then one can judge him. Otherwise, it is just simple thing. People say all other paintings are so that That is, his greatness can be achieved only one knows deeply about him.
Thank you,
I'm
Sudhir
very
sir.
happy that I was with him for many years, and he used to come. I think he is for many years. He visited my house only thrice, and he never used to visit the students' house. So that is all.
Thank you and good wishes to everyone. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.